So in a park that I come to by the river, this one cabin, I believe, was here. They moved it, and this is a representation of a Swedish settlement in the late 1600s when the Swedes came here and settled. That would be the main house. That would be a stable. That would be for the goats. That would house things like grains, meats, anything to keep up off the ground so the animals, critters, squirrels, raccoons, things like that wouldn't be able to get into the structure. This little building, tobacco shed, thrashing, no, this was the, yeah, tobacco shed, I believe. Let's go look at it and see. Okay, so this little building would be a smokehouse, a bathhouse. It was the first house built by the pioneers. It had no fireplace, but the rafters had a fire pit in but rather had a fire pit in the center. No chimney, just a hole in the roof. This building was moved in, I guess recently. It used to be in Bridgeton, New Jersey. You can see there. And there were a couple buildings there that were in Bridgeton, New Jersey. Don't exactly know where, but this building, and the implement building, this building here, were in Bridgeton. And this little building, that's what it looked like when they were dismantling it. In 2017, this is a thrashing barn where they would separate the grain and the husks and the chaff. And they had implements in here and some storage for different things you can see here. The buildings are all closed up, but you can kind of see right in there that there are some time period farm tools for doing just that, thrashing and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty cool. So these are only open one day a month on Saturdays. I'm sure it's pretty busy when they're open. One thing that I found interesting, you can see, and it carries true to all the buildings, and I'm not big on log cabins, but you see how they did the shakes? They carry over the peak of the roof, which I thought was pretty cool. Every building is designed like that, and they all have an overhang everywhere around the building. And I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, these are all reproductions of originals, but I really don't know. They could be originals. Parts of them look pretty old, and then parts of them don't. I'm gonna guess maybe the logs and some of the doors are old, some of the hardware is old. All the stonework is obviously new. Whether it came from the sites that these buildings were originally on, I don't know. But it's just interesting how they constructed these, and they're pretty simple, but yet very effective in shelter, providing shelter when they first came here. And this little building is one of two that has a chimney, and they would add these chimneys later. And again, it has that overhang at the top. And this was the blacksmith shop, and inner building bog iron. So this was a blacksmith shop, 1980. So it used to have a sod roof. Interesting. That's pretty cool. So you can kind of see in to the left. You can kind of just make out the big fireplace. I guess that was where he did his forging. You can see some tools on the back wall, and right in front of us you can see some tools, hammers, and different things that a blacksmith would use in his daily working. It's a pretty cool building. This whole little village is pretty neat. Again, it was about I think like 2 years ago that they erected the rest of these buildings. Again, this building was the only one here at the time, and then slowly they put up the rest of these 6 buildings that I guess they acquired from different places. But it's a pretty neat little look into maybe what life was like in the late 1600s when the Swedes came to this part of North America and settled. This village, I don't know how big it was, but some 600 or 400 Swedes came here to settle this area. Further down, that's the Delaware River over there. Further down in Delaware, not too far really. Maybe, I would say, just a guess, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 7 miles down the river is Fort Christina, and the Swedes settled there too. That's where they first came and made settlement, and then they branched out, I guess. Don't really know the whole story, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. And I just can't, like, it really, as a woodworker, it's cool to see how they built these buildings. And they're simple, but yet very effective. They're not perfect. They don't need to be perfect. They make do, and they compromise with what they have. And it's just it's a testament of our resilience to improvise and make do with what is around us when we decide to do that. Maybe one day on a Saturday I'll come back when the buildings are open. Hopefully it won't be too busy, but we'll see.